Hello and welcome again. This is my catch-up video. It's actually a question that I got from Rob in the comments of YouTube. Thank you, Rob, for commenting. Rob has an awesome YouTube channel. I got to meet him during SSS Veda this year, so you know I'm going to link you up in the comments with that, or the description rather. Rob's question was how soon after I got started with social media, not exactly, something like this. How soon did I get started? Did I start to see a return on investment of my time? And it's a difficult question to answer simply because how I got into social media. You know, I didn't ever intend this to be my job. It became my job because I didn't have one. I'd left uni, couldn't get a job, was getting turned down for minimum wage jobs. I tried to apply for a toilet cleaning job one day and I was rejected, and it felt like it was hard. It was really hard to be rejected from a toilet. I felt pretty worthless at that time. Couldn't even get a crap job. But in that moment, the little girl inside me was like, do you know what? Just go start a business. And I'm like, I don't have nothing to sell, and I don't have any experience, and I have no contacts. I know nothing. But the little girl inside was like, nope, go start a business, because that's what I'd always done as a kid. So that's what I did, and I jumped on Twitter for the first time in 2012. I actually swore off social media back in 2008 after I was really badly cyberbullied on Bebo, which was my place before then. And I swore off Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Who knew it would become a job, right? I love it now, or at least parts of it. So anyways, I digress. I jumped on Twitter, started having conversation. I was like, whoa, you could talk to anyone in the world. How amazing is this? And then I signed up for LinkedIn and I discovered the same thing. So for me, starting out, I didn't have a job, didn't have experience, didn't have all this stuff, decided to start a business. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna work for free. And so I started literally, who needs work on Twitter? Or who, I would reach out to people on LinkedIn and say, can I do anything for you free of charge? So when you approach a situation like that, when you're willing to do work up front for free, there's not many people saying no, right? It was very, very easy for me to get work on LinkedIn and Twitter because I was willing to do it for free, and that goes a long way. It's like what I've said in previous videos. Effort is grossly underrated, and I knew I had to earn the right to sell, and that is the same thing with social media. You earn the right to sell, and the way I wanted to be providing value wasn't necessarily through tweets and posts and all this stuff. Yes, that was important, but I wanted to take it to another level. I wanted to really reach out to people and genuinely help them from my heart, and so that's exactly what I did. And as I said, when you're offering free work, nobody's really turning you down. But what that did is that provided my gateway, because of course that free work actually started my business in paid work because I did a really good job and earned the right to sell. I wouldn't obviously do it forever, but I was doing it for a short period of time, and they were like, you know what, we're happy with your work, you've got results, let me keep doing this for you, let me keep doing it. And I realised that you could use social media, the same principles apply. I'm not saying go out there and do free work for everyone, but for me it worked. So that's my honest answer to you, Rob, and to anybody watching. I did get a return like within a week or so because I did the free work, but I had to work for a few months before I got a profitable return. In terms of other businesses I've worked for, I've grown huge brand pages as part of teams where they've got a return instantly, but they've been able to pump money and resources into their social media campaigns. They're at a huge level, and it doesn't mean they're known because a lot of them are startups, but the difference being it's about the return on the investment. Like if you can put money in and you can afford to test and do all of that stuff, you can get it right pretty quickly. You can figure out what the audience is pretty quickly, and then you can start to generate a return on investment. Now, with that being said, like it doesn't work all the time and it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. They're putting in a huge amount to get that return back, but they can do it. They can afford that risk. As small business owners, you can. So you have to work a little bit slower, and you have to go at your own pace, and you have to build relationships at a much deeper level because you're not at that high level brand status where you want to be known across the world just yet. So with that being said, usually the guideline I used for clients doing social media management, and I still use, 3 to 6 months. That's why I always do a 6-month contract for social media management, so I can go ahead and do my job as effectively as I can and test and tweak and figure the exact sweet spot for our businesses that will generate that return on investment. So the first 6 months is very much establishing all of that, getting the return on investment going, and then the second stage of the next 6 months is always like a higher growth stage, right? Because you've spent that time earning it. So I would say 3 to 6 months is viable if you are putting in the work. Of course, you know, what you put in, you get out. If you're doing things and you've got a strategy, always have a strategy. Remember that you have to focus on your community, who they are, finding them, engaging with them, building your tribe up. You need the numbers, quality and quantity. You need to be putting out great content, inform, engage, educate, inspire, entertain before you then promote. You know, content leads to conversation, conversation builds relationships, and relationships lead to return on investment over time, because people do business with other people they know, like, and trust. Of course, if you're offering free stuff, that happens a little bit quicker, which is why I thought it was necessary to tell my story. And of course, I would also add that when you do something like that, you get noticed, because as I said, effort is underrated. So in terms of word of mouth marketing, as with all social media, it's word of mouth marketing on steroids, right? So I was able to build up a reputation and get business that way as well. I should also mention that. So yeah, community, content, conversion. You have to have a conversion strategy, a way of taking a connection, turning them into a conversion, a customer, paying customer. There has to be a process and a step-by-step guide. They don't just convert on their own. You have to guide them there and try and have like little micro commitments along the way, because as human beings, we like to stay consistent to our previous actions. You know, if you say yes to something, you don't want to go back on it. So try and encourage little micro commitments, whether it's like replying to a tweet, signing up for an email list, filling in a survey, having a conversation, having a phone call. Phone calls and emails, also grossly underrated, and coffee. Nobody wants to have coffee meetings these days, but guess who builds the best relationships? The people that take time to have coffee, even though they might not get the return on investment short term. The other thing I would add is always focus on customer lifetime value. Don't go for the short sales, don't go for the short gains, the quick sales, the money in your pocket straight away. Go for the longevity. You know, I still have my first ever client. The first ever client that I offered to do work for free, and she paid me. And I still have her, and I love her to bits. And I plan to be with her for as long as she'll have me, because I focus on customer lifetime value. I don't care about having lots of customers. I care about having the best relationships with the one I have and showing how much I care, and that's what I would encourage you to do as well. So I know I've kind of given you a bit more of than just answering the question, but I've done that to give you a really good overview of what you need to be doing to get that return on investment of your time, of your finance, of all the resources that you're putting in. So I would say 3 to 6 months if you're a small business, unless you've got tons of money just to throw in ads and stuff like that. Put in the work, put in the effort. I shared my story. Hopefully it will help you. I would love to hear any questions, any follow-up that you require, just anything. Just start a conversation and I will meet you in the comments. Never forget that you have the power to change the world, one connection and one conversation at a time. Much love from my heart to yours. And I truly hope we speak soon. I'm kind of enjoying this YouTube thing.